I'm still emotionally compromised from Big Hero 6. You cannot tell me that everything's going to be okay, because it's not. It's not. Why do you do this to me, Disney? Gather around, children, it's story time. So, spring and summer have always been times of reflection for me. I'm not as frantic as I am during the year, there aren't any reports or papers to turn in, no holidays to plan for, it's just generally peaceful. And with all this extra time I have in my hands, I think about things. And eventually my mind wanders back to what a mess I was as a child in comparison to what a mess I am as an adult! In a good way. Yeah. It will surprise none of you to know that as a child I had a great amount of difficulty making friends. However, my brother and sister did not share my problems. They were just the coolest kids on the block. They had at least 7 or 8 people over like every night, and half of them did not even believe I existed. That's not a joke. Like, to this day they think that my Facebook is an elaborate prank. Meanwhile, whenever I tried to sneak down into the kitchen and grab a snack, and one of them would run into me, I'd just be like, "Konnichiwa," and they slowly back away. I remember more than one night in my room, listening to them all have fun downstairs and just being like, man, I wish that I could be like the cool kids. Because all the cool kids, they seem to fit in. I wish that I could be like the cool kids. Like the cool kids. I spent my childhood waiting to make friends, to do something, to not be stuck in my room just staring at my wall. And I never really believed that day would come. Well, it did come, and it was well worth the wait. So let me extend to a lot of you who are going through the same thing what I was doing while I was waiting, and why it was worth sticking around for. While I was waiting, I found my passion. Make no mistake, boredom is a killer. It is painful to just sit around and do nothing. And unfortunately, without friends, it's all too easy to get bored. But boredom is how I found out what I was going to do with the rest of my life. One of the main things for my siblings was a place called Camp Awana. If you've stayed there in the past decade, you've probably at least heard of my dear siblings. And they'd go there as campers, and then when they were old enough, as leaders. I went there once or twice, but it never really stuck because no air conditioning and no TV and books. So every Saturday, my butt was in the van, 2 hours there and 2 hours back for visits. And for a 10-year-old, 2 hours may as well be eternity. So I started imagining things to pass the time, like superheroes and fox people and what it would be like to fly. Things turn into stories, so stories are told to other people, those people start wanting more. Writing starts, reading starts, interest in art starts, fandoms are joined, hype is built, worlds expand, all starting from a 2-hour-long car drive. And if I had gone to camp, if I had built those relationships like my siblings had, I would have not had the time to do any of the things I ended up doing instead. If I had gone to camp, if I had not been bored, I would not be here making stupid geek culture references. That blows my mind. Necessity is the mother of invention. Therefore, boredom is the mother of art. Think about it. Art fills the void that's left when we are left with our own thoughts, which, by the way, is a terrifying ordeal. But people who are busy are people who are occupied, which means that they are distracted and spared from this. Think about the origin story of any of your favorite scientists, creators, geniuses. They did the things that amaze you because they were somehow frustrated with their lives and wanted to do something, anything, to fix it, bandage it, make it better somehow. It pays off to wait because it pays off to be bored. While I was waiting, I found myself. If I had grown up in the public eye of my peers, I would not have been a geek. I'm a people pleaser. As soon as someone said that I was dumb for liking Japanese comics, I would have dropped it. But growing up without friends means growing up without people looking at you, which means that you're free to do what you want. And so I could honestly compare society to what I wanted and see what was worth it in the end. And being ignored gave me a necessary thick skin to separate what was right from what people wanted. And because I felt little pressure from my friends, I was able to organically become myself. So much so that I couldn't stop being myself, even if I wanted to. When you're on your own, you are so much more free to do what you want. You can try something and then dump it with barely any consequences. And then when you find something that you do like, you can go deeper and deeper into it without neglecting anything. Eventually, you continue to follow that path until it leads you to people as crazy as you are, and that is where your squad is. It just takes you a little longer to find them. Maybe this goes without saying, but I think it's better to find your friends through your interests than your interests through your friends. While I was waiting, I found my faith. I tried chasing after what I wanted for so long, all I did was make it worse. It was when I let God do the work that I got so much more than I ever thought I could have wanted. I wanted to put an end to my loneliness. He did that and gave me a small group of friends that I could trust my life with, rather than surrounding me in a crowd of people that I barely knew. In doing so, he also gave me a culture I could be a part of, things that I would enjoy to no end, a purpose for my life. And he just kept giving more and more. 3 written novels, a couple of leadership positions at my church, a school that could teach me how to make a living off of my thoughts, a place of my own, a show to do, 2 jobs to provide myself with, the energy and enthusiasm to just keep up with everything he kept giving and giving and giving. And if I had made friends when I was younger, I would have none of this. I would have been surrounded by people, and that would have been the end of it. In this, God proved that he knows me extensively, better than anyone possibly could, and that he has my own best interests at heart. God works in his own time frame because our time frame doesn't work. We, as humans, have no idea what we're doing. We really don't. But that's okay. If you are that kid, if you are watching me to take a break from staring at your wall and listening to I'm Just a Kid by Simple Plan, then first of all, 2009 called They Want Their CD Back. Second of all, keep staring at that wall. And when you're staring at it, keep thinking about things. Think about what you want and what you're going to do when you get it, and how to save the world, and why moist is such a disgusting word, and just anything that your brain can possibly think of, because I promise you, you cannot imagine what God is doing in you right now. No, not what he's doing when you graduate middle school, not when college makes it better because everyone's so much more mature. Right freaking now, because God is not wasting a second on making you amazing. You just gotta keep calm and stick around if you want to find out how. Thank you guys so much for watching. Special thanks to Deanna Morales, who was behind the camera and who set up the set and who did my hair and never ever leave me. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want something to comment about, why don't you comment about what you want me to talk about in future videos? Or talk to me about Simple Plan, because I was totally kidding about that joke. I mean, I love Simple Plan. I'm Just a Kid was my teenage angst jam. It was. It wasn't yours, it was mine. I found it first. And if you like my face and the sound of my voice, no one blames you. Click the link in the description to be taken to my Facebook. And lastly, remember that you have a great God. He is with you every step that you take, even the ones that you're taking right now.